Hello, everyone. It's Bob and Tracy again here with another version of Talking Tech. Today, we're talking tech with our very own Greg Askew. Uh, we're going to kind of talk about some of the things to consider when we're drying our paint, basically. Greg, give us a little intro about yourself, if you would.
Sure. Thanks, Tracy. Um, like Tracy said, my name's Greg. I've got 25 plus years experience in the body shop. Most of that as a painter. I was previously an instructor at the Chicago Training Center where Bob is now. I kind of missed the place, Bob. So, take care of it for me. And
Absolutely.
and currently I'm a technical specialist, and I focus mainly on TDS and training curriculum for our training centers or our online training.
So, Greg, as being a former instructor here, as you know, it's probably something you've ran into, and I run into a lot. I get a question that, hey, I baked my clear coat. I did everything according to the TDS, 140 degrees, 30, 35 minutes, and it's still soft when it comes out of the booth. What's going on? What happens?
Yeah, that is a pretty common question, and there's a couple of things that come to mind. There's some good things to think about, and one of them is the booth ambient temperature versus the panel temperature. And what I mean by that is I need to know what my booth needs to be set at. If I'm looking for 104-degree panel temperature, then it's most likely that my booth temperature is going to have to be set higher than that to get my panel to that target temperature. Typically, it's a 20-degree. So I might need to have my booth at 160 to get my panel to 140. So that's the first thing to consider. What do I have it set at, and what does my panel get to? The second one is ramp time. And what I mean by that is how long does it take after I turn the booth on the bake for the panel to get to the right temperature? And so that target temperature and how long that takes, I need to add that to my bake time. For example, if my bake time needs to be 30 minutes at 140, and it takes 10 minutes to ramp to 140 on my panel, then I need to bake for a total of 40 minutes to get there. The last thing that at least comes to mind for me right now is cool down time. Cool down is part of the curing process. And so to complete that process, we need to allow it to cool down to ambient temperature before I start evaluating whether my clear is soft or not. So taking those three into consideration are a lot of times what ends up being the reason they don't get the expected results.
So there is another application is something that can affect it. Is that correct?
Yeah, sure. I mean, that's a really good point, Tracy. That over applying clear coat, right? Even if it turns out looking great, which often, as we know, as experienced painters, it does. Even if it turns out looking great, that's going to extend the time needed for it to cure. The thicker paint film, the more that's there, the longer it's going to take for it to cross-link cure and get the solvents out that it needs and all the other following reactions. So definitely application and how I apply it is going to be a big point. So sticking to the application described in the TDS is always the best way to get consistently great results. Sticking to it.
All right, very good. So I got one more question for you. So I've heard this before. What happens if I can't get my booth to reach 140, if that's what's needed?
Yeah, right. If I can't get there, what do I do? Well, the first thing that comes to mind for me is have somebody come look at it. Have a paint booth technician come and analyze why isn't it performing? Why isn't it getting where I need to get? If there's nothing you can do about it, or it's a situation and it's not easily fixable, then have a look at what are the products in my lineup. What are my options? What can I do with what I have? We have clear coats that love the heat, and we also have others that work unbelievably well in low bake or air dry situations. So, with that, you can always explore options with your distributor or your AkzoNobel rep.
Awesome information, Greg. I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to be with us today. And I want to thank you all that are watching, and thank you for choosing AkzoNobel. Be sure to follow us on social media, and we'll see you next time.